Craft Brews Casual Conversations. For a second there, I almost forgot what our tagline was, and that's why I stalled and then continued with the speaking pattern that I was speaking in, so it kind of distracts the listener and deters from the fact that I almost forgot what it was. So that is what you do in the professional world of any sort of broadcasting. When you fuck up, you got to commit to it and commit to the fuck up and keep going with it. This has been a great introductory lesson to all the people who want to explore the world of live broadcasting, which there's not a lot of in the world of the audio media, the audio format. Most of the time, you could just go back and redo it. Stop, delete, and redo it. But no, not me. I'm old school in this regard. This is Dudes with Brews on a Porch. My name's Rob. His name's Drew.
You're about to hear the greatest show of your life.
Dude.
Dudes with Brews on a Porch with Rob and Drew.
Again, I accidentally said my name's Rob. I don't. That's all. I'm glad one version of Drew can experience what that's like. Yeah, I mean the beard is good. Yeah. Hold on a second.
Talking.
Oh man.
None of my stuff recorded?
No, I don't know why. I think my goddamn kid hit the button. I'm sorry.
So we got to go from the top?
Nope, we're going to keep going. Pretty much what you said is you liked being the version of Drew. You like your beard, your goatee, the way you look, the way you feel, and then all my stuff on that back end. My gosh. Talk about being a professional, and then I, screw it all up, Rob. I'm sorry.
Well, sorry. I'm texting with somebody I shouldn't be. Sorry.
Okay. Off to a great start. Let's talk about the beers, shall we?
Am I being recorded? No.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
It's all good now.
All right.
I am drinking.
Can I finish this text?
Yeah.
Am I allowed to do that?
While I talk about what I'm drinking. I am drinking Explorium Brewpubs in Greendale, Wisconsin. Their 2023 special holiday release, barrel aged. It is their chocolate orange. It was brewed in driftless Glen Narahana barrels, bourbon barrels. It is a bourbon barrel stout. This Belgian old stock ale, it's not even a stout, it's a fucking ale, spent the year slumbering in the fine oak, being finished with dark chocolate and orange zest. Warm and rich is the order of the day, as this ale works harder than novelty fuzzy slippers to keep those toes toasty. More of a oh my God, do you hear that kid screaming?
I can't hear it.
I assure you, he is with an adult.
Yeah.
11.
I just saw your wife leave like 5 minutes ago.
No. 11.7 ABVs, and it is you're supposed to serve it at 48 degrees in a snifter glass. So I have myself a snifter. Here it is.
Now this is what the audience wants. They want to know what glass. They want to know what temperature. They want to know what. I can't believe the recording in the beginning of this didn't take.
I'm sorry. It definitely has that chocolate taste on the upfront. I'm looking for it's smooth. It's creamy.
So that's not a stout? Is that what you're telling me?
Ooh, one second. It's definitely got that orange to it too. Interesting. It's got the chocolate. It's got the orange, like on the back end, I guess you could say. It's a strong ale, is what it is. It's an ale. No, it's not a stout. It's an ale.
Looks like a stout from where I'm sitting.
It's because of how it was brewed, I would imagine. Would be my guess.
I,
That's
w-
why
I,
it's,
w- I would like to try that beer. Did you say what it's called? No, I'm just joking. I know
it's
you said.
tasty. I only got one can of it. Sorry.
Well, even if you had two,
Mm.
it's not like
Yeah,
I can run over there.
the first sip, I got the chocolate. Now, as I continue to sip, the orange is very on the upfront. What a wild ride this is. What are you drinking?
I'm afraid to even do my thing, because you just nailed yours, I feel like. And
Maybe.
my palate's messed up because I've drank on multiple different occasions today, multiple different types of beer. But I am drinking the brewed in Burbank, Trustworthy Brewing Company's own What Plain Oatmeal Stout. Did I do this beer yet?
No.
Okay, another free one. They gave it to me.
It's awesome. They should sponsor
Uh,
the show.
they kind of are
We
on
can,
my behalf, you know.
yeah, we can.
Maybe I can send you a gift basket or something.
That'd be great.
Do you have any? Did you look it up? Because there's nothing really on this. Hints of chocolate and espresso. There's no X in espresso. There's no X in espresso.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody told me that recently. 5.3 alcohol by volume. And it says here I'm just gonna read the can quick. What plane pours so intensely dark that your first thought is, what could it be hiding? A U-2 spy plane, perhaps? Your second thought is, how does it have so much chocolate character while still being a smooth and clean beer?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't say that beer part. I just added that because I accidentally said
Well, here,
and when I put the in there, I had to finish it with a noun of sorts.
there you go. Good job.
This is a show about messing up and just powering through.
That's right. That's what
Uh,
life is.
yeah.
Here's the description on Untapped, which you can be our friends on Untapped. Find us, be our pals. The best part of a campfire is completely roasting a marshmallow on the end of a coat hanger. That burnt marshmallow is not only just as tasty, or fuck, I was doing so well. That burnt marshmallow is not only just a tasty treat, but that flaming ball of puffed sugar is quite the show. Your first impression of what plane is well done marshmallow, graham cracker, and baking chocolate. You observe its intensely dark and wonder, what else is this beer hiding? A U2 plane? Perhaps? When you hold it to the light, the only thing you see is the tan lacing around your glass, ruby red highlights, and a beer as black as most stealth aircraft. The flavor of the beer aren't far from the aromas. Dark sugar, crispy oatmeal cookies, baking chocolate, and espresso. Goes well with well done s'mores. Duh. BBQ pulled quarter pork or brisket. Creamy blue cheese, wild game chili, St. Patty's Day, campfires, spiking your coffee at work.
So there's a lot. So basically, you have a longer version of what's on the can.
Right. There it
Okay.
is. That's what we got. How is it?
I mean, it's the espresso coffee smell comes right up front when you smell it. I'm not gonna lie. I had this beer the other night at the brewery. I really enjoy this beer. Now, somebody with a more refined palate might taste the chocolate more than I do. I don't taste a lot of chocolate, but I do get the coffee nodes, if that's what
Mm-hmm.
they're called.
Mm-hmm.
Super smooth beer. It tastes. I mean, the taste stays full through the drink, and then it fades into a little bit of bitterness, which is the espresso. Um, and it's just a good stout. It's a good stout.
Absolutely. Good.
It's worth like this is one where I would recommend anybody that likes a stout. It's only 5.3, so it's not like super heavy alcohol, so you can drink enough of them. You can't hear any of it, don't worry. It's you can drink, you can drink till you're full and not be wasted. It's not like that last week that stout that I drank, it that sent me down a road. It sent me down a road for the night of going to the bar and drinking some black IPAs
Yeah.
that were up in the 7.5%, which then led to me closing down the bar and going, let's go to the Snug. I'm going to the Snug with or without all you. Went to a different bar and closed that down.
The
There's
Snug?
the Snug is another bar that's it's like a mile from my house.
Do people go to the Snug with you?
Yeah, I rallied. A few people went. Rob went and Victor and Chris and somebody else. I don't know. I stopped and got Donut Hut on the way. I was very drunk. I recall that my one of my regular bartenders that I see all the time, a friend of mine, upon getting my third or fourth black IPA, which is more than I normally drink in a night, she's like, you're on a rare one. What like there's questions were being asked about why I was doing what I was doing. I blame the 12% alcohol stout that I drank. That was so good. It was so like that Untitled Art. It
Yeah.
was good.
And just launched you into a world of fun and
A world
partying.
of it changed my whole night.
I've really have observed that about myself recently. I chaperoned a high school dance the other day. And then afterwards, some coworkers of mine, we went to an establishment afterwards, ate some pizza, had a few. At a certain point, we had some laughs, we talked, got to talk to people that I normally don't get to talk to, get to know some of my coworkers a little bit more. And then afterwards, at a certain time, they all get up and go. And then me and like my two closest friends, I do work with them, but they started as my coworkers, but are now some of my best friends. I was like, well, the one guy and me were in the bathroom, and I was just like, I don't want this to end. I don't want this to end. He's like, me neither. Let's go to this place. And I was like, all right, let's go. So I was very much in that same state, and I've realized that about myself. I can tell myself, and I didn't get drunk. I had over the course of a handful of hours, I only drank 4 beers, which isn't bad. But I've learned that about myself. Like when I'm having a good time, I don't want it to end. I want it to keep going.
Keep it rolling.
I want it
Yeah,
to keep
you want
going.
to keep it going.
And we closed down one bar, and then we went home. And I was like, man, I really don't want this to end though. I'm glad it did. I'm glad I went home when I went home. Fell asleep. I felt great the next day, and that's the good thing, the good part of it. But
Yeah. Well, what's weird is about that night, like I recall, like I remember the whole night. I was pretty drunk. I'm not gonna lie. I was pretty drunk, but I was definitely not drinking because I was happy. I remember acting happy, but I also remember going like, I just don't want to. That was a situation I was like, I just want to be out and around people right now. I don't want to like the idea of going home drunk. By like, it was one of those things where that was the thing that was keeping because I really tried to deconstruct why I drank so much that night because I drank so much that night. It was a weird occurrence. I don't normally do that. Um,
are you sad?
you know, I don't know. That day I shouldn't have been. I certainly shouldn't have been.
It was a
Maybe I
good
should
day.
have been.
It was a good day.
Well, I mean, the Packers lost that day, I think.
Mm.
Was that today?
That was
Or
last
was that the
Saturday.
day after? That was the day before.
I don't know, man.
I don't know. I drank a lot on Saturday too. I also drank on Monday, Tuesday. I
Oh,
drank a
damn.
lot on Wednesday. I drank a lot on Thursday. This
So-
week has been a rough week. Drank a lot this week.
What's going on?
But well, Wednesday I went to the Kings game.
Okay.
My first hockey game, first professional hockey game. I've been wanting to go to a Kings game since I came out here. And me and my friend Amanda went, and it was a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good night to drink.
Okay.
Thursday night I went to Trustworthy to get food, but their food wasn't. They didn't have their food going on, but they did have movie trivia.
Nice.
And somebody asked me to be a part of their team. Somebody I didn't know, just a random person.
Oh, really? That's awesome.
Uh, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'll come and try and help you guys out. I fancy myself somebody that knows movies and stuff.
Did they
I
ask a
don't know
bicycle
movies and
thief
stuff.
movie
No, that's the
question?
thing. I was talking to this guy Jason, um, that was also on the team that was like crushing it. He knew everything. It was like him and one other person that knew every question. I knew the ones that they already knew. But me and him were talking about movies and stuff, and he's like, "Oh, so you know movies that nobody watches,
Yeah.
old movies that nobody like. They're not even gonna be in a trivia thing. Like you watch old obscure movies that like are good. They're good movies. Like you're dropping some great movies, but they're not the movies just asking somebody the name of that movie is going to be a trivia question that will stump 90, or whatever.
Mm.
And like I was like, all right, well, I guess I got to get back to some classics, some classic old movies and memorize those. So next time this happens, we still won. Our group won and crushed the entire. They didn't, it's like every other team left.
Nice.
We really just but it was a lot of fun. So I ended up drinking more that night. I would have stopped at 1 and gone home had I not gotten invited to that team. Um, Friday was, I don't know what happened Friday. Saturday I went to Lawless and had a few drinks with somebody that was a good night to drink too, because it was different. It wasn't just going out and drinking. I don't know. It's just I had a few days where I was kind of in my head and drank my way out of it.
You gotta do that sometimes.
Sometimes, I've been doing really well. So this week was just a setback. Sometimes you take, in this case, it wasn't like 2 steps forward, 1 step back. It was more like 4 steps forward, 1 step back. That's still 3 steps forward.
Right. It's a good way to think about it.
Next week I'll start again.
Exactly. Awesome.
Because I'm still quit smoking,
Good.
still biking to work,
Good.
still taking my multivitamin, multi-mineral, and my phytonutrient.
Whatever that means.
I got some swanky exfoliating facial scrub. Yeah.
I would say I was gonna say your face has a little bit more shine to it.
Well, yeah, look at this. I'm on the facial spray with aloe, herbs, and rose water moisturizer.
Dog. That's wild. Good for you.
Started putting beard oil in my hair today. First day I tried this.
Beard oil in your hair?
Just a little drop of beard oil in your hair. It gives it a little malleability. It almost is like it gives you a 1 day without a shower grease. So because that's how you keep your hair. Apparently, you're not supposed to wash your hair every day, especially if you have hair like mine. Somebody told me this little trick works pretty well.
What's your hair like? A guinea pig?
It's dry and frizzy. If I wash it every day, it
like guinea
poofs
pig.
out and frizzes. Yeah. It's okay. We'll call it a guinea pig. Yeah.
Guinea pig Bob.
That came to my head, and I wasn't going to say it for reasons we all know.
No, that's good, man. That's okay. You had. It sounds like you had a great week. Sounds like you had fun.
Yeah, it was. I just drank more than I wanted to, and that's fine. It is fine. But today I went skateboarding, and man, me and my buddy Nick went. We've been talking about going skating for a long time. Crushed it, man. I cannot believe the tricks that I was able to pull out today. I was very excited. I mean, we're a couple of we're closer to 40 than we are 35, and no, that's not true. I'm not there yet, but you know what I mean. We're closer to 40 than we are 30.
Mm-hmm.
And
you're on the back half of the 30.
Yeah. We were busting it out. I mean, real tricks, down real stuff, on real,
concrete. Did you wear a helmet?
No.
You should do that.
No, I did not.
You should wear one, especially
I'm gonna wear
at your age.
What's that?
Especially at your age, you don't, you've lived a full life. You lived a good life so far. You don't want to have a traumatic.
It's fine if it ends at this point.
No. You don't want to have a traumatic brain injury, and then what? Rob Weldon's gonna be taking care of you, wiping your keister? I don't think so. We're gonna have to ship you back to Wisconsin, and you're gonna have to live in my basement. It's unfinished.
That sounds okay to me, actually. Will you be wiping my keister?
I mean, sometimes if I remember.
Okay. Speaking of keisters, can I ask if I say to you, I fly by the seat of my pants? Do you know what that means?
Yeah. You like wing it all the time.
You wing it, yes. You're not a planner.
Right.
I said that to somebody out here, and they looked at me like I was I was a damn fool.
Does
An
a
idiot.
Is that like a Midwest thing? A Midwest saying,
That's what
maybe?
I asked a couple other people and they're like, I kind of know. I know that that's a saying, but I have no idea what it means.
Have you ever said bubbler instead of water fountain?
Yeah, all the time.
And
I use a bubbler.
do they know what that
Water
means?
fountain. A water fountain is a big thing that you put coins in for wishing, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like in a
But most
park.
people, you know, I mean, what a water fountain is a wishing well without coins in it. As soon as you put a coin in a water fountain, it becomes a wishing well.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
But no, I don't have much cause to use the word bubbler, you know.
Sure.
And honestly, a bubbler to me, like, it can mean two things. So it's a place to get a refreshing drink of water, especially if you're in a high school or a park.
Mm-hmm.
Or it is a weed smoking apparatus that filters the smoke through water to make it less harsh so you can take bigger hits without coughing.
Good. Great. Awesome. What's
All right. I was really wondering how you're going to react to that.
uh
Don't use it. Don't use those. I mean, it's not good. I don't use them.
good?
I just research things that
Mm-hmm.
I'm bored.
I have a note on my phone that I put in here January 11th, and I thought, like, I don't know why I put this at 6:19 p.m., but I made a note and it says our generation is more aware of our aging process than any other generation before us. And I think that's true. You know what I mean?
Yes. I think that's because we get the chance to age in the
In the now,
um
in the
well no
present.
we can age naturally in whatever progression that we want. Every generation before us, they were thrust into aging by war,
Yeah,
right?
sure. I was saying, like, more along the lines of, like, there's all these videos of this
Oh,
song's
you mean like
20.
staying like young skin and rose water and shit?
No, there's like this song is 20 years old this year, and I go, holy shit! And you see a million of them. Whereas my parents didn't have that. They didn't know. They didn't know what
No,
song
no,
took
no.
20.
That's not true. Because I have parents that were very akin to that.
Yeah, maybe yours, but I don't think most.
They were tuned to that, akin to that. What am I talking about?
Or like I saw a
Drinking
video
too
where they
much.
said, like, it was like a young kid, and it said, one day, when we're old, people are gonna, oh my god, people are gonna ask us about COVID-19, like we asked the old people about 9/11. And that fucked me up.
Who asked old people about 9/11? We remember 9/11.
My kids weren't alive. We're
Your
old.
kids are going to ask
Yes,
you about
9/11.
9/11.
Right. And that happened a
Oh,
long
okay.
time. You know what I mean? My daughter's 15. I'm old.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I mean,
You
my
know-
roommate was born after 9/11.
Really?
Yeah, I believe so.
That's wild. Anyways.
Yep.
All right. Well, that was a
I
worthless
mean,
note in my phone, I guess.
no, it was a good note. Is because I'm thinking now about that, and
I'll
it's
just
like
go
I'm
go fuck
trying to think
myself.
about
That's what I'll do.
what I asked my parents about.
Dude, I don't know. What
what
I
was
don't know
Woodstock like? Oh wait, no, you're only 8 at the time.
I don't know that I ever really dove into, like, generational stories with my parents. I one time I wrote this this creative nonfiction story about my
Creative nonfiction.
yeah, that's a thing.
I want to look into that. That's very interesting. All right, go. Sorry, piqued my interest.
I took a creative nonfiction class in my creative writing minor for my bachelor degree, and one of the assignments you have to, it's like supposed to be like this immersion essay, and I didn't really immerse myself too much because I couldn't, because I had a kid, and it couldn't be about me; it had to be about somebody else. So I wrote about growing up as a gay dude at a time where being gay was not the thing. You know what I mean? Was not accepted the way it is now. And I talked to my dad. And that was the most I've ever, like, asked him questions about 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 growing up and stuff like that. And he was still pretty candid, or pretty like, he kept a lot of things, I think, to himself as well. Whereas his husband, Jim, told me was much more open about his time as an escort in Chicago, escorting these high CEOs of companies and rich people, going to these gay parties, but it's like all a secret. It's all underground, and it's just like this whole existence was occurring while, you know, gay people are being murdered. It's pretty crazy. That was the only time that I ever really like learned about what that means, what that meant to be gay in the 80s, or like the 70s, 80s, and even in the 90s.
Yeah, being gay, being gay in the 80s was probably tough. In terms of the AIDS epidemic, like there's people that
for sure
literally thought that if you were gay, you had AIDS,
right?
And if you had AIDS and you touch me, then I have AIDS. So stay the fuck away from me.
Well, yeah, and
that was a weird mentality, and like there's people like your dad had to live through that, and that's
right. And it's also the fact that, you know, if you are vulnerable enough to tell somebody who you are, and your parents and your family just abandon you strictly because of that, and it's just wild. It was a crazy thing. But yeah, outside of that,
sorry,
I've never really asked my parents about anything. I've never talked to my mom about struggles she had. I've never talked to my and then you kind of hear things every once in a while, but I've never really sat down and asked them questions about events that they might recognize. And hopefully I kind of hope my kids ask me questions like, what were you doing when this happened? Like 9/11. Granted, I was in Wisconsin at the time. I was in 5th grade. I remember.
I was gonna say middle school, maybe.
Yeah, I was in 5th grade. I remember when it was on the TV. I didn't understand it. I didn't understand what was happening, and it didn't make sense to me. I thought, oh, this is just an accident. Something bad happened, and this was an accident. I didn't really understand the idea of this group hates this group. War was foreign to me. Of course, you might have heard about World War I, World War II, but that happened a long time ago, right? That's not going to happen now.
5th graders tend not to know too much about that stuff.
So this was my first thing, and I just thought it was an accident. So, but I don't know. It'd be. I hope my kids ask me stuff. I just hope my kids ask me about growing up, even because we have a completely different existence.
Well, tell them. That's it's like my parents had those conversations with me, and I enjoyed them. Maybe some of my other brothers didn't. Maybe there's some kids that wouldn't. I don't know, but I always enjoyed to hear that stuff. Granted, my parents lived an interesting life, where in the sense that of drug use and there's certain things like
Dear John letters.
I don't know what that means.
Dear John letters or something. Or,
yeah.
Didn't your dad get served some divorce papers while he was in a certain establishment?
Oh, see that? Yeah. All right. I don't want to. That's something that if he wants to talk about, he can come on and talk about. I don't. Yeah. So, which I wish he would, because it's
a good story.
Interesting. The story.
I remember when he told me that. I was I came to the house and just to see what's up. Nobody was there except for him, and we just got to talking. And he told me this long story, and I was like, holy shit. That's wild.
Yeah, when he told me, I was like, damn, and some of the details that he gave were that's stuff that I made a mental note of, so that when I write something where I need to draw on an experience like that. One of the things that I missed the boat on that I just found out about was my grandpa obviously passed away when I was young, but he was at the Ice Bowl game.
Oh, really?
How cool would that have been to have that conversation? What was it like at at the Ice Bowl? Him and my uncle went, and that's that's a missed opportunity.
Yeah, stories there's this historic stories that everyone's gonna hear. Everyone's gonna learn about eventually what 9/11 was.
I should bring up the fact that I probably could have asked him about the Korean War too, but
that's not
the Ice Bowl. The Ice Bowl game seems a little bit like it would be more interesting.
I just I don't know. I feel like documenting your personal history and just your experience during bigger events is more meaningful than maybe, and I don't want to say this like in a bad way, but more meaningful than maybe just like hearing about the events themselves. Like if you can draw a personal
Well,
connection
if you,
to it, or you even if like I read like a stranger's book, and they're like, this is what was going on with me when this major world event was happening.
so you're somebody that likes to see behind the veil of like what the cause effect is on a personality or
Mm-hmm.
because I can say this like with 9/11 like that I was in my freshman year just on the on the cusp of thinking I was an adult, thinking I had the right to have an opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And
I would have been interested to hear what some of those opinions were.
beforehand, like
Like
that's the
just
thing.
yours.
Like I don't know what my opinions were beforehand, but I damn well know that afterwards they were very anti-America,
Yeah.
anti our president, anti like I was like when the Patriot Act and that stuff hit, that created my persona of not trusting our government. They're using this thing to take away our rights. How dare you do that?
And that's what made you go into the airport and be like, what's really happening in the
Yeah, it
sky?
did. I mean, I wouldn't have gotten to that point had I had 9/11 not happened.
Right.
Like that was the thing that made me start to like the fact that that led to the Patriot Act and these other things that and George, Bush was not a president to me that I had no right to say that because I had no right to vote at the time. I was too young, but I was not a fan of him. And I was not a fan of the fact that it's like I fancied myself seen through some kind of a veil of what they're doing. Like they're using fear to take away the rights of us as Americans, be under the guise of we have a lot of foreign people here and we need to keep track of them. I that right there was like enough for me to go, all right, I don't trust you anymore because this is people's lives were lost and now we're paying the price even though it was a thing where that was like a distrust towards the government. Shouldn't have been that way. Maybe I was wrong to think that way, but I was young. I wasn't an adult. I thought I was an adult, but that definitely set me down a path.
Well, that sets up the question too. You said I wasn't old enough to vote. I shouldn't have had an opinion about it, but I feel like kids should have an opinion on things when you're at that age, freshman year. You should. That's kind of when your opinions really about the world kind of start forming. You know. Um,
Yeah, it's I mean, and well, and it's like that's when you talk to probably people that's what's interesting about like when you get into people who are coming of age in 68 and the Vietnam War was happening and it's like there was dissident culture that was brewing itself. Like it was self-perpetuating. And I think the same thing kind of happened
mm-hmm.
throughout the after the 9/11 where it's like you had a lot of people that were very um, that weren't willing to just go with the status quo of what they were telling you and say, okay, I believe that this is what this was, and I believe I believe that we're actually trying to track down the person that did this. It didn't make sense if you actually looked at what our government was doing at the time. It was like you're going to the wrong place. Like we know that that guy's not there. Why are we going to Iraq? That makes no sense.
Mm-hmm.
We're using this as an excuse to do things that we wanted to do in the first place, which means that the thing that happened, you're not taking it seriously. It's like, so that was the way I looked at it, where it's like, you're not going after the person that you think is responsible for this. You're just saying that they're in this place because you wanted to go in there in the first place. And it's now I didn't understand all the economics and geopolitical politics of what had happened in the early 90s when I was only 5 years old with the Gulf War. It's there was a whole nother thing that had already happened there. And the older I get and the more I kind of look into that area and stuff, it's like I don't know what's right or wrong. I never pretend to. I never have pretended to. I talk a big game about I talk as if I know something, but I will always tell you at the end, honestly, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Don't listen to me. I probably got it all wrong, and that's another one of those things that I'll say that like where it's like I felt a certain way because I was a teenager, and I will tell you this, and this is should I be ashamed of this? Probably. I saw that happen. They turned on the TVs when I was in class and let us watch it as and they told us that this was a big deal, but I remember going, it's New York. I don't fucking care about that. I
Right.
don't like this was before I knew how much it was going to change the world that we lived in. But in reality, I was still just a 15-year-old that wanted to go skateboard and didn't want to be in class. And it's not like that's not a it's not a good statement. I don't, but I'm not necessarily ashamed of it, but I also am at the same time where it's like, you know, 2,000 people died on
But that's
American
the
soil, but 2,000 people die every day in other countries based on these terrible, atrocious acts by other governments, by other groups, by other things, and it's like that is the world that we live in.
Yeah, but that's also the perspective I think that people need. Is this was the perspective of a fifth grader during this time? This was the perspective of a person just entering high school, and this is what they were thinking about. And that's very much it would resonate today, even if it, God forbid, hopefully it never happens. Another like tragic event would happen on our home front. My freshman daughter probably wouldn't think about it the way I'm gonna think about it. You know what I mean? Like this is like, or maybe she starts to gain that perspective of finally, like you're right. You know, I am not the center of my world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, something like that. But that's I think more.
Well,
I don't want to say more
here,
meaningful, but like more like uh, learning about humans and how humans
yeah.
think and how humans
Well, so
process.
yeah, here's a question that I have for you because I just thought about it myself and I don't
Yes, the
know the
49ers
answer.
are winning by 10.
Damn.
Oh, that's not your question?
No.
Yeah,
Uh,
they're going to
my
the Super
question was,
Bowl.
what act would some government or some group have to do to make you so angry that you are willing to advocate for our military to go wipe out an entire country of
I don't
people?
know. Yeah, I don't know.
Because it's like I can't think of something, but we're living in a time right now with this Palestine Israel
Right.
situation
Yeah. Yep. I don't want to talk
where it's
about
like
that.
where like and I don't want to talk about it either because like still at this point I don't go, all right, let's just go flatten a fucking country full of people. I don't think they all agree with what's going on there. Uh,
Well,
it's a weird, you know, it's like
I also can't fathom it. I don't know what it's like.
yeah, exactly. The closest we have is 9/11. That's the closest thing
Yeah.
that we have to what other countries deal with on a day-to-day, month-to-month, year-to-year basis of fear of invasion, of fear of war breaking out overnight. That's the closest thing we've ever had.
The yeah,
And it
we have
didn't really affect us, you know, like it did in terms of our governmental policy, but it didn't in terms of like hitting home. I mean, do you remember doing like you know having to like do the big thing for us is like growing up doing these like active shooter
yeah,
drills. I don't
right.
think anybody else overseas anywhere like they're not doing active shooter drills.
I don't know. But the closest thing too like that we've had to somebody potentially dying due to some terroristic act was the fake text message that Ryan had, and we were worried that our brother was about to be exploded, and thankfully that wasn't real.
Well, yeah, exactly. No, it's
Do you think this episode went somewhere I didn't think was gonna go?
I didn't
But
think. Yeah, what are we? Why are we doing this?
um,
That's the question.
you think like the the Explorium's like, oh great, they tried out another beer. Let's listen to the episode, and they're like, oh damn, they just leave really depressed and like they don't know what to think about life and existence. Maybe
I mean, that's that. I hope so.
is that good to think about your existence, why you exist, why you are here, what you can do
No,
with your time?
it's absolutely not. It's not good to think about those things.
Okay,
I'm gonna tell you that. I mean, it's like, yes, I think it makes you a better person if you do that. I think it's helpful for humanity if people do that. But in terms of the self, in terms of happiness, in terms of the actual journey from birth to death, it makes it worse. It just
great.
makes the journey worse. I've talked to people that don't think about these things, don't think about how they'd act in these situations, don't think about what would cause them to react in a certain way, and them not thinking about it seems to give them an air of happiness, like where it's like it's blissful ignorance. I mean, there's a reason why they say ignorance is bliss. If you don't think about it, it's not that big of a deal. You don't care. But it's
Hmm.
not that you don't care, it's that you don't even know that you should.
Yes.
And if you don't know that you should, then there's not even shame attached to it.
Right.
Once again, I don't know what I'm talking about.
Eli, or is it
Manning?
No.
Fuck that guy.
I think. All right. I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say. I'm gonna shift the conversation, if you will. I have a new NFL conspiracy. Are you ready? I just developed it in this moment. There's 2 minutes.
I'm ready for it. I'm ready
2
for
minutes
it.
left in the NFC Championship. Kansas City Chiefs already secured their spot in this year's Super Bowl. A red team, correct? Color is red. This year, or this NFC Championship, currently the San Francisco 49ers are beating the Detroit Lions by 10 points with 2 minutes left in the game. The Detroit Lions enter halftime up 17 and just fucking crumbled. Crumbled. As the Detroit Lions tend to do with any sort of season whatsoever. They always draw that shortest straw, and it's really a big disappointment. I wanted the Lions to win. I wanted the Lions to go to the Super Bowl. I wanted the Lions to win. I really did. But now it's going to be 2 red teams in the Super Bowl. Therefore, Donald Trump will win the presidency.
Holy shit. Just blew my mind over here. That's so much better than the NFL banner.
I know. The banner conspiracy has already been.
So if it would have been Ravens Lions, it would have been 2 colors that are offsets of blue.
Right. Exactly.
Which means Bernie Sanders. Who's running? I don't even know who's.
I think it's just Joe Biden. I think so.
Why? What?
Why? I don't know.
Why anything and everything?
You're right.
It's,
You're right. I mean, there's still 2 minutes left, and Jared Goff just threw a bomb, but
what are they down by? They're down by 4?
10.
Oh yeah, it's not happening.
You're right.
Wow, I'm gonna get blamed for that. Rob is gonna blame me because as soon as I left the bar, which I didn't even go there for the first part of the game.
They were playing clutch so well. They were playing so well, and then they've had like a good amount of turnovers this game. It's just not looking good. It's a big disappointment, but that's my conspiracy. I'm not saying this is not an endorsement of any type for any politician. All politicians are evil. All politicians are corrupt. They don't care about you. They don't care about me. They care about the people that are lining their pockets. That's my opinion, but that's what I think is going to happen. 2 red teams facing off each other. It would only be appropriate. It would only be appropriate if the more racist of the teams won in America, which
Kansas
would be
City, right?
Right.
Yeah. But can I say this? Can I amend your just so that I feel better about what this might mean? 2 red teams facing off against each other in the Super Bowl means that the Republican Party will eat itself from within.
Hopefully.
Infighting.
Yeah, might as well. The Lions are about to score, but
too little, too late.
You're right. It is.
It's the NFC North. We wait till the last minute.
Yeah,
we're too busy saying goodbye for 45 minutes.
You're right.
To the end zone where we need to go.
You're right. That old Midwestern goodbye. Even though San Francisco's not. Yeah. Fuck them.
They're not known for fast goodbyes. I don't know what.
I don't know. They're not. They don't. It's called a Midwest goodbye for a reason. You know.
Yeah.
Oh, you're saying the Detroit Lions have just been saying goodbye for 45 minutes.
Well, they were trying to go to the end zone. That's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
And they waited until the very end of the game to get there when they needed to.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
I don't know. Don't pick apart my analogy because I didn't watch the game and I know that they scored a lot in the first half. So
yeah, but
but hey, if they score right now, onside kick, recover.
Yeah, that doesn't happen often. But what a wild ride this episode has been. We really
it has been.
In a time where I've had personally, I've been thinking a lot about once again my professional life, what I want to do, what the next step is. there's a good chance that next year I will be somewhere new.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
Yeah,
I'm glad to hear it.
I don't know if it's good, but yeah. I'll still be doing the same thing, but just somewhere else. You know?
Yeah.
That's we'll see. We'll see.
What, in a different city or?
Probably. Yeah. Different city. Different mascot. Different colors.
Not purple, right?
No.
Thank God. Okay.
I'll still be living in the same house. I will just be the commute will be a little different.
I see what you're saying. You're okay. All right.
Yeah. All the Detroit Lions just scored. 56 seconds left on the clock. Yeah, it's over. Don't even celebrate. Just get on the fucking sideline. Embrace your 3-point loss, Detroit. It's just not going to happen. 4-point loss right now because they haven't gotten the extra point. Do you go for 2 in this situation? Why bother? Just get the field. Get the extra point.
Go for 2 in this situation. Just no. Well, Dan Campbell might. He's aggressive. He thinks he can win still. I guarantee you that.
You know, this comes down to at one point in time they went for 3 instead of going for the touchdown on 4th and 2. So they're down by 3 right now. 56 seconds left on the clock. Tensions are high. They are at Levi Stadium in San Francisco, California. Jair Gibbs, what's his name? Gibbs. What's his first name? Jameer.
Jay Gibbs.
Jay Gibbs is getting a little pep talk. They're talking to each other in the huddle. They're denying the Gatorade bottles. They're hydrated. They're running on adrenaline. They're feeling good. We got a pan over to the sideline as disappointment potentially rises on the face of the players of the Detroit Lions. Dan Campbell, he's getting ready. He's talking to the microphone. Who knows what he has in his back pocket? The 49ers, of course, are already assuming that they're going to win because there's 56 seconds left. And let's face it, this is the NFL where miracles tend to not happen. And it always goes to the team that everybody hates. Nobody likes the 49ers. Are you ready, Rob? I think the last 15 minutes is just going to be some play-by-play. Is that okay with you?
I'm fine with it.
We're going to get into some commentating and color commentating. We could
as long as we're not commentating on Israel-Palestinian conflicts. I don't know why we started. I'm sorry, that's on me. I think stouts make me
philosophical.
Yeah, they make me hard to talk to.
They make you astute. You know, stout and astute are pretty similar when you break it down. They're going to take a commercial break. You know, they're trying to ice the kicker in some sort of sense. They're replaying the montage of all the scores that have happened during this game. It's very intense, very neck and neck, very exciting versus the AFC Championship game, which was just a snooze fest.
What the heck happened with the Ravens? I thought they were so good. Everybody said,
I don't know.
Spoilers, the Ravens lost.
They yeah, it hasn't been good. All right, they're setting up on the tee. They got to make sure the conditions are perfect. The laces are out. They're in their standard line.
What does that mean? The laces are out. Why does that matter?
The laces are facing out because laces out, Andy. That's what you're supposed to do. Or laces out, Dan. Let's see. They're going for the onside. They're going for the onside. Can they recover? Oh my God! No. 49ers got it. Fuck.
They could get a pick six.
It's not going to happen. They're going to run it. And then they're going to down it.
I know. I'm just joking. There's no reason for them to. I just want to sound like an idiot, football-wise.
Yeah, it looked promising. So it went up. It got the distance, and it touched a Detroit Lions hand, bounced right off of it.
I blame that guy for the loss.
The hope was there. Dan Campbell is upset. He said the F word, but they didn't air it on television because you can't say that word. There's a flag in the play. Let's see what the flag does. It might not do anything. Wouldn't that be something? If the flag came back where they had to re-kick it and the Detroit Lions got control. My son, again, is crying in the background. I assure you he is with an adult. I apologize for it. He's tired, but he doesn't want to go to sleep. You know, it's one of those situations. Toddlers sometimes can't regulate their emotions. They don't really understand what's going on in the real world. and he can talk, but like the communication part of it is just like it's just better for him to go wah 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 for a while until he gets what he wants. That ultimately is what happens when you are a parent.
Well, I say just let him be alone.
The
That's
flag
why I don't have kids.
flag was on Detroit. This
So the game is over.
is going to be over. The San Francisco 49ers will advance into the Super Bowl. Usher is performing at the Super Bowl. Will Taylor Swift making an appearance? She has shut down Super Bowl performances before. She doesn't want to do it. You think she'll do it? You think Usher will be like, Shorty got down, said, "Come and get me," and then T Swift no,
I don't see a world in which that happens.
Well,
Look, I'm just saying, if there's one thing I know about T Swift, she's got integrity. All right?
integrity. Now you can hear it. Oh, here he comes. Come here, bye, buddy. Come here, baby. What's wrong, guy? So, in the world we live in, Rob, in my current state of things, my 1-year-old son really loves his dad. Yep. Who's
There
that?
we go.
Can you say hi, Rob? Say Rob. The heavy breathing it's kind of creepy, bud. No one likes that. All right.
Yeah, you might want to move off that.
Say hi. You don't need to whisper. Say hello. No. The mood has definitely shifted since he's sat on my lap.
Yeah.
Should I call it a show? Should we get off and go get ready for the night?
Maybe we can call it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's saying call it.
Okay. Well, I drank the Explorium's 2023 special holiday release, their barrel-aged chocolate orange. Delicious. Delicious strong ale, if I do say so myself. I do have about a quarter of it left, and it was tasty. If I could find another can of it, I would drink it. Rob, what about you?
What plane by Trustworthy Brewing Company? If you can get it, get it. I like it. It's a good stout. It's not overly. I like the low alcohol content.
Content.
Tense. That's it.
Mm,
Doesn't
yep.
seem like it's low based on what I'm saying, but that's because I drank. I did start drinking at like noon today. No, it's a man. I really like this stout.
Good.
It's just got a great flavor. It's very smooth. It's drinkable over the long haul. I drank 4 of these on Thursday.
Dang.
And for a stout, normally I'm not going to drink 4 stouts. You're not going to be able to. This one is light enough to do that with a great flavor. So I would say, yeah, absolutely try and find this beer if you can.
Absolutely. Jonah, do you have anything to say? Can you say bye-bye?
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
There we go.